Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, what we'll be doing is we'll be building something similar to Nodemon. Okay, and let's be on the same page of what we'll be building. Okay, let me run Nodemon server.js. So as you can see, we are able to run Nodemon, basically run this server using Nodemon, and we can whenever we make any changes to the file, is rerunning on the server.js code and on the same port. Again, we can do manual reload also. Okay. Anyway, we're building something similar like this. Okay, so for that I've done some basic setup. I've created an init file and I've created an index.js file location, and I've told that this command is I'm gonna be running this server.js code, this index.js. Okay, if you'd like to understand more about the bin part and all, I would suggest you to check out this documentation. It has more details. I'll be sharing the link in the YouTube description. Anyway, so now, but one thing I'll just do is I'll just let you know I'll currently, what if we are trying to run it. Let me first come to this uh, c.cd src index.js. Sorry, I think I need to just do src. Okay, node index.js. As you can see, I've written some code here in here. Sorry, index.js, which is nothing but just printing the arguments and printing the current working directory, as well as I have put this line, which is again will be clear if you read the article, but documentation. But anyway, I'll just tell it's basically telling it to telling basically it's telling this index.file has to be executed using node.js. Okay, so if we run this, and you can see the first output is of the array, where we have the first as the node pointing into node, second is the index.js file of our node runner code, and the third is the arguments. Okay, so let us come back to the demo app. Okay, and let me run it using node runner. Okay, so as you can see, it's saying that there is no file or directory found. So what we'll do is you create a symlink to this location using npm link. Okay, I would suggest to check out more about what npm link does. Okay, but anyway, for our scenario, it will allow us to run the node runner command. Okay, and to verify whether it has been installed, you can check this location, this c users. I'm in Windows, so this is a path for me. Okay, and as you can see, the node runner is installed here. Basically, you can see a representation of it here. Anyway, so let us come back here, and what we'll do is okay, so now, but yeah, let me check first whether it's working fine or not. Node runner server.js, as you can see, it's working fine. So now what we'll do is we'll check whether we have at least, we have basically three arguments. Okay, only if we have three arguments, then only we'll allow this our code to be executed, which we are going to be writing now. Okay, so what I'll do is function init. So first of all, let me create a node process. Okay, let me create some variables. Basically, process executed equal to true, node process equal to null. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'll just give you the flow, basic flow. It will become more clear while we type the code and write it off. But the main flow is going to be we're going to run the node runner process, and the node runner process is basically going to execute our server.js code, or whatever code we're telling it to execute using the third argument. And when it runs, basically it's going to run it in another child process, which will be spawned by this node runner main process. Okay, and whenever we make any changes, and we'll be basically observing this whole location, this whole directory, wherever the third argument server.js file is executed, or whatever index.js, whatever third argument is there. Okay, in the current working directory of that will be watched for any changes done to the JavaScript files. We'll be specifically targeting JavaScript files, and if there is any changes done, we're gonna be, what we'll be doing is we'll be killing the child process and again creating a new process. Okay, if anything bounced off of your head, I would suggest to check out the complete video. It's gonna be clear. Okay, by the end of this video. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll create a start process. We'll call the function start process. Let me create it. What this function will do is like, uh, one second. Okay, what this function will do is like it's gonna basically create another node process. So let me do one thing. I'll just create a local variable here. Let child process, just to keep it easy for us to know which is global variable and which is child one. Okay, so we'll do spawn to and it is as you can see it's coming from child process, and we are gonna tell it to execute node command, as well as the file location will be getting from process dot arg v2, and we'll give it some more options which will be nothing but what standard input or output it needs to use. We'll be giving it uh, process dot standard in, process dot standard out, process dot standard error. Okay, and at the end we'll be returning this child process anyway, so let me return it now only, and we'll be having some more code between here. What we'll do is like, since I've created a child process, I'll just make the process exited equal to true. This is going to be helpful for tracking when a process is running and when it's not running. Okay, it will become clear how much it's useful later on. Anyway, so what we'll do is like child process exit equal to true, and we'll just listen on some of the events which we have. One, I'll just listen the close event to let me know when this process has been exited. So if it's exited, oh sorry, I meant something else. I meant here false. Okay, by default we're making it true, and we'll make it false, and here we'll make it true. Okay, so child process dot on error. Okay, and here similarly we can do process exit equal to true. I'll just do console log in both scenarios to let us know where it's coming, where the logs are coming from, whether something is being done on here or not. Basically, process closed. Just like child process maybe. Error occurred. I'm not giving a lot of better names. You can give them. Okay, error occurred. Anyway, so function start process, child process, and then that's it I guess for this function. So we'll come back to the node process start process. Now what we do is like we'll call watch files. Okay, as you can see there is something coming from watch file from fs. So we can use fs1, but it has some issues, so we'll be using another third-party module called Chokidar. Let me install in the root pmi Chokidar. I think this is the correct spelling, I guess. Let me check. Okay, correct. So I've installed it. Now let me use it. So what I will do is like, first of all, like let me call this watch files, and let me create a function. It's not gonna come automatically. Const Chokidar equal to require Chokidar. Let me just paste it. I think it's same only, but yeah. So what I'll do is like Chokidar dot watch. As you can see, it's saying like it needs a path of strings and some options. So we need to tell it where we would like it to observe for any file changes. So what we'll do is like we'll be using the argument which we receive, and based on that we'll be taking the current working directory of that argument. Basically for us it will be server.js directory, which will be demo app. And if any changes have been done on that folder, it will be and for the respective files which you'll be observing, only those will be changed. Just to be let me add it, it will become more clear. Let paths to watch. You could write it anywhere. I'm just adding it on the top. It has to be an array structure, and let me do path dot join process dot current working directory, and let me only check for all the JavaScript files inside this location. Okay, let me see. It's gonna track all. You could do for JSON also if you want. You can add anything here if you want, but I'll be just focusing on JavaScript files. Okay, I'll take this let pass equal to watch, paste it here. Then I need to give it some options which I would need to give. The first is like ignored. I would not like it to run if any changes are done on the node modules. Again, I can do something similar there also. Slash slash star node modules slash star, I guess. Let me check again the path slash star star slash node modules slash star. Now one more thing we need to write is like ignore initials. Yeah, this is mainly so that it doesn't, by default it might run twice or more than, I think it will run twice because it will try to detect when basically it's going to detect the changes first time. So I'm just adding it to true. Okay, you can check the documentation for more clarity. Okay. Anyway, and I would like to track all the changes. If any changes like addition, deletion, or anything has been done to these files in this current working directory, which where we are watching using paths to watch. Okay, so here what we have to do is like if any changes are done, any change, we would like to run reload. I'll be creating a function, don't worry about that. Yeah, and it has to be async copy and function reload. The reload function will do mainly two things. Is basically going to stop the child process, like I told you previously in the start of the video itself. Somewhat, it's going to stop the process and then it's going to start the process, and it's going to reassign to it to the global variable node process, whatever process it creates again. Okay, same process. Let me write it. It will become more clear. Let me first do stop process. Okay, again I'll reassign a node process equal to start process. That's it. I'll just write stop process. Okay, it has to be async, it seems. Yeah, and our reload function also needs to be async. And the stop process is gonna just what you're gonna do is like it will be different here. It will become more clear why I'm doing it. I'm gonna return a promise here with two functions resolve. Sorry, not functions, basic function only. But anyway, yeah, with resolve and reject. Okay, and these, and what I'm gonna do is like node process dot kill. I'm gonna call it. It's gonna basically kill this process gracefully. Okay, and what we'll do is like, but the thing is like we would not like the next process to be created because already we're running in 3000 ports. So we would like to be 100% sure that whatever server was running on 3000 has been killed, so that we can again create a new process and run it on server 3000. Okay, just to be extra sure completely, what we're going to do is like we're going to create a set interval. Okay, and we are going to call it 500 milliseconds gap. Okay, and we are going to check whether the process has been exited, and here comes process exited variable, because what we're doing is like we are telling it process exited equal to true. That means whenever the child process has been killed, then it's going to be true. And if it is true, then what we have to do is like first we have to clear the interval so it doesn't get called again and again and doesn't do any memory leaks. And next we have to just resolve to true so that it returns. That's it. And when it returns, I can just go ahead and create a new process. That's it. Cool. And I think there are two things we have to add here again more. See, first of all, watch files. No, we could do some more things here. Uh, we could handle the, what should I say, the SIGINT and SIGTERM signals. I would suggest you to check out this article if you're not completely clear about that. Okay, not article, documentation basically. I'll share the link for that also. But for our side, we can say like we have to handle the process basically, because see, the thing is like we would need to kill the child process also. If you're basically trying to kill this main process, node runner process, we need to kill the child process also. That's why we are handling that from our side. Okay, so that there is no orphan processes and all. Okay, it will become clear why I'm saying that way. Okay. Anyway, it has to be, sorry, it has to be SIGINT, I guess. SIGINT, yeah. Async await. I'll create another function for this handler, and I'll do similar for SIGTERM. Okay, let me create this function again. What I'll do is like nothing much special here. Exit handler, function exit handler, and this is going to do something similar like how we have for stop process. It's going to basically call the stop process. Okay, and since we are handling now what has to be done whenever these events get triggered, SIGINT and SIGTERM, so we need to by ourselves call the process.exit also, so that this kills the node runner process. The stop process is basically going to kill the child process for sure, because as I explained just previously, and process exit is going to basically kill the node runner process. Okay, and this should do it. And one more thing is like what is that? Yeah, we need to manual renode also. So for that, what I can do is like I can listen on the standard input on the data event and see chunk, I guess I'll put chunk name, and I'll just data equal to chunk dot, it will be a buffer data and I'm converting a string basically. As you can see, I think it should come from TypeScript, a buffer. So I'm converting a string so that I am able to get a data, and I'm going to check whether the data, which is a string basically, includes rs, not rs. If it includes, then what I'm going to do is like I'm going to again reload. Okay, manual reload basically. I think it has to be okay, so that is it. And one more thing, I'm not sure whether you thought about it or not, but see, the thing is like if when we come to the server.js and if we make any changes, I have multiple JavaScript files, and if you're doing changes in any minor changes in one file and all, and we are saving it together, all those files, then what will happen is like we are going to be killing the child process and creating one more, killing and creating more. It's going to be happening very fast, and it's going to just increase the CPU time and etc. For performance. So for the performance part, what we can do is like we can go another way. What we can is like we can use debounce concept, debounce timing and all. I think if you're not aware, then you should check it out. It's a very important concept, but for our sake, I'll just keep it clear. So what we'll do is like we'll be clubbing those events, like whenever we need to create a process, we'll be delaying it basically by a timer, set timer 1 second. Suppose we have a gap of 1 second, okay, one time, you can say one window of 1 second, and within this window, how much ever events, how much ever we get the events to create new process, we'll not be creating them. We'll only be creating on the 1 second gap, so that we don't need to create multiple basically what problem we are solving. Basically, we don't need to create it again and again, delete it again and again, destroy it again and again. So to do that, it's very simple. Let me create again one global variable. Is the name, I think is not good, but I'm just keeping for now. Previous loader timer is too much overloaded or what, I guess. Reload timer. I think reload timer making sense. Okay. Okay. Copy. Now where are we doing it? We are doing it here. Not here, sorry. We are doing it here whenever we make any changes. So what we'll do is like we'll come here, and basically we'll be creating a debounce timer. Here I'll just keep it. Okay, and I'll do set timeout. Okay, I'll execute this function. I'll execute this function every 1000 second. Okay, and what I'll do is, like, previous reload timer should be what, debounce timer, and I would like to execute await reload here, and I would like to clear the timers also. Okay, so what I'll do is, here is like clear timeout, debounced, no, it should be previous reload timer. Okay, I think this should be very simple. So let us run now the moment of truth, I guess. Just the correct file, I guess. Let me come to demo app, node runner. Okay, process cannot access before initialization. Let me see what I've done wrong. So not here. Okay, I got it. The issue might be this. Let me check. Okay, let's run it. Yeah, it's just in port 3000, and maybe what should I do? I'm coming here and doing nothing here. I'll just save. As you can see, child process call closed, and I'm listening on port 3000. And if I do manual reload rs, again same thing. And if I do control c, whether I'm able to kill the process or not, I'm able to kill it. So that's it, guys. I think so. And maybe I might have an article on this as well. It might be again in the YouTube description, I think so, for this video. It might be after some days or weeks, I don't know. Maybe we'll see how much time it will take. Anyway, so thank you for watching till here, and hope to see you for there for another videos as well. Bye.